Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. We'll be talking everything Denver sports and beyond. Please like and subscribe if you are a sports fan like me. Let's do this. Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. Well, it is NFL Eve for the Denver Broncos as they kick off their 2025 regular season tomorrow, hosting the Tennessee Titans. And I wanted to go through a little bit specifically with the Broncos schedule and give a little prognostication on every game, as I did on previously this week with the entire league, going through all games, all division winners, standings, playoff bracket, and even a playoff prediction and Super Bowl winner. If you want to check that out, I'll put the link to that below. And check it out. It's fun to go through the whole league, but tonight we're going to talk specifically about the Broncos and what I think might happen for them this season. Starting out with the hosting the Tennessee Titans, who will be starting rookie Cam Ward. Titans were not a good football team last year, and thus were able to select Ward with the number 1 overall pick. He's coming to Denver for his first NFL start against the Broncos' very good defense. Defense rules the day. Broncos managed to keep things interesting with the Titans for a little while, but Broncos should pull away with defense and even moderate offense. Should be enough for the Broncos to go 1-0. Next, the Broncos head to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Colts have a good roster, but not a good quarterback situation. I am not a Daniel Jones fan whatsoever. Anthony Richardson is not a playable NFL starter at the moment, and Broncos should start 2-0 against the AFC South part of their schedule. They get a nice road win to start the season at 2-0. Now things get a little harder. Going to the Los Angeles Chargers in Los Angeles, I have the Broncos losing this game. I feel a little even better about this pick now that the Los Angeles Chargers beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil on Friday. Chargers are going to be tough to deal with. So Broncos are now at 2-1. Broncos come home to host the Cincinnati Bengals on Monday Night Football. Broncos defense is definitely tested with Joe Burrow and company coming to Denver. However, I do see the Broncos taking advantage of a very porous Cincinnati Bengals defense, with the Broncos defense managing to make enough plays, maybe a pick six here and there, to keep the Bengals at bay. Denver now stands at 3-1. Denver Broncos continue their slate with a very difficult test against the defending world champion Philadelphia Eagles, who won their opener on the opening night on Thursday against the Dallas Cowboys. Granted, Philly looked a little bit shaky at various points of that game, but it's the opener. I think it's asking way too much for this Broncos team to go and beat the Super Bowl champs in their house on the road on the East Coast early time. So Broncos will lose that game, puts them at 3-2. They then go to New York to play the New York Jets yet again. And Broncos managed to win this game in poor weather last year. Should have better weather conditions. I don't like the Jets quarterback situation. And now we have another year of Bo Nix feeling much more comfortable against a difficult Jets defense. But the Broncos come away with a win that puts them at 4-2. NFC East slate continues with the Broncos hosting the New York Giants, who have a tremendous defensive front. By this time, I would imagine probably that Russell Wilson is not starting for the Giants at this point, and it is Jackson Dart. However, if Russell Wilson does make the start for the Giants in Denver, the boos and the heckling are going to be tremendous, thus helping the Broncos win. Broncos now stand at 5-2. Next, hosting the Dallas Cowboys, another part of their NFC slate. Should be a lot of Dallas fans in the stadium. However, I do see the Broncos managing to win against the Cowboys, which will put them at 6-2 at the midway point of the NFL season. Broncos have now played essentially half their games, 8 of the 17 at this point, and head down to play the Houston Texans. Now, Houston Texans I picked to win the AFC South, as they will probably go 6-0 against fellow AFC South opponents. However, if the Broncos really want to be a playoff contender, this is a game that they should win in Houston against a good, solid team, both offensive and defensively. and I have the Broncos winning this game in Houston to put them at 7-2. Broncos then host the Las Vegas Raiders. I have the Broncos winning this game and managing to really take a stranglehold of their fate and their division with a divisional win over the Las Vegas Raiders. The same cannot be said as the Broncos will host the Kansas City Chiefs the following week. I have the Denver Broncos, unfortunately, losing this game to Kansas City. I understand that Kansas City looked weak in their opener this last week, but by now, Kansas City should be able to fix most of their early season issues, and they still provide a very difficult test for the Broncos. I have the Broncos, unfortunately, losing that game, putting them, though, at 8-3 heading into the bye week, which is good. Next, the Broncos head back to the East Coast at the Washington Commanders early AM start, much like the Philadelphia matchup. I have the Broncos, unfortunately, losing this game, so splitting their NFC East games, losing both games against the two teams that played for the NFC title last year. Broncos now sit at 8-4. Then they head to Las Vegas, i.e. also a Denver semi-home game. There's always a lot of Broncos fans in Vegas, and I have the Broncos winning this game to sweep the Las Vegas Raiders for the season, going 9-4 at this point. Next, the Broncos head on to host the Green Bay Packers, a team I believe will be a true NFC contender. A lot of Green Bay fans in the Denver stands, and unfortunately the Denver Broncos do lose this game to the Green Bay Packers, but no shame in that. Next, the Broncos host the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team I do not think will be very good, a team the Broncos defense especially should be able to dominate, force Trevor Lawrence into some mistakes. Broncos now sit at 12-5. Next, they head to Kansas City. The Broncos, even in good years before Patrick Mahomes, do not win in Kansas City in December. Broncos tried to win in Kansas City and had some kicker issues, unfortunately, previously that prevented them from winning in Kansas City, and KC will definitely need this game. I do not see the Broncos winning in Kansas City, unfortunately, getting swept by the Chiefs this year and finishing their AFC slate at 3-3, AFC West slate, I should say, right at 3-3, as they are able to host the Los Angeles Chargers and win this game against the LA Chargers instead of losing it like they did in LA. And as you can see, my final AFC West standings, I have Kansas City Chiefs winning the division, Denver being a wildcard team at 11-6, 3-3 in the division. Finishing out, Vegas Raiders 3-3 as well in the division at 9-8, and the Chargers at 9-8. Now, obviously, that could change quite a bit, given that we already had one divisional game with the Los Angeles Chargers beating the Chiefs. So it's hard to say that that might happen. But anyway, should be fun. Looking forward to reacting and talking about the Broncos coming up. And I believe the Broncos will have a good year. I only have them winning one more game than they did last season, but that's not a failure. If they have back-to-back double-digit win seasons with a second-year quarterback, it's a tremendous year. And if you want to know how I think the Broncos' rest of their playoff contention might happen, you can check out that podcast in my full NFL prediction. But it's NFL Eve, Broncos and Titans tomorrow in Denver, and I'll be back reacting to that game. And thanks for tuning in. Once again, my name is Andrew Sharp, Sharp Sports YouTube podcast, and I'll be back after the Broncos hopefully win against the Tennessee Titans.